33-year-old Englishman Matt Briggs has started a new life on the other side of the world, in New Zealand. Recently divorced, he's ended up running the store he bought with his ex-wife.
A year of separation and divorce process behind me at this stage, and much more ahead. So it was a tough time, yes.
But in his heart, Matt is no shopkeeper. Trapped with a business he can't sell, hiking in the wilderness is a welcome relief from the daily grind.
I was stressing over the sale of the business. I had a lot on my mind, and a trip into the mountains was just what I needed to actually relax and enjoy life for a week.
Matt's arranged staff cover for a few days, while he heads off to his beloved mountains.
A long trip like that, you can forget the rest of the world's there for a week. It's great.
As an experienced hiker, Matt is meticulous in assembling his kit. He even leaves his new manager a note, detailing his route and when to panic if he fails to return.
That's enough of that, little dog.
Since Matt's divorce, his constant companion has been Little Dog, or LD.
Always close to Little Dog, or LD. We spend every day together.
Ready for a walk? Good boy. Come on. Come, little dog. Stay here.
She was a very, very timid dog when I got her. She was scared of me, she was scared of everything. But over the years, she's slowly got the confidence.
All right, come on. Off we go.
She is great company.
Matt's expedition will take him through remote mountain passes to the high-altitude ice plateaus of Mount Cook, New Zealand's highest peak.
It's just sheer rock walls, glaciers and water, and that's all that's there. And then that country was what I really wanted to see.
It's the kind of ambitious route that has earned Matt a reputation with the locals.
Many of my friends here call me the Mad Pom. Pom is an Englishman who's come over to Australia or New Zealand, and for my love of the mountains, I put the mad bit on the beginning.
On this hike, Matt will totally rely on his own resources and the supplies he can carry.
Away.
I always take food for the time that I'm planning on, and also throw in another kilo or so of rice, which I know will last me 6 days. I like to push myself and get into country that pushes my limits. This was going to be one of the most challenging trips that I'd been on.
In this pristine wilderness, there are no trails to follow, and Matt is in his element as he forges a path through the tough terrain.
That's a boy. Ready? Here we go. Come on.
There's a lot of very thick undergrowth in there, so a couple of days of what we call bush bashing, just forcing your way through the undergrowth. And then up into some high country, another couple of days up on rock and scree. I enjoy the solitude, I enjoy the space. I was in my element and I was loving it. It was great.
But after 3 days of battling to get above the tree line, Matt now finds himself in even tougher and more hazardous terrain.
It's a very steep and hard to find sort of place where you are taken care with every single step you take. You do not want to put a single foot out of place.
Up. Up.
Finally, at 1,600 meters up, Matt gets his first glimpse of his goal. the distant ice plateaus of Mount Cook.
I was elated, and I just got up a pass that I didn't know even if it was going to be possible. No people, no plants, no animals, amazing country. It was just amazing. It just takes your breath away to look at that sort of country.
Nightfall is only a couple of hours away, and temperatures at this altitude can fall dramatically. Matt knows he must start heading for the valley below and find shelter.
And past, what felt like the most dangerous part of the trip.
Heading downhill is a relief, though not without hazards, and Matt picks his route carefully.
There's a rocky gully down below where I'm walking, with just sheer cliff walls and solid upturned rocks along its base.
Flushed with success, Matt feels he deserves a treat and decides to head for a hunter's cabin nearly 4 kilometers away in the valley below. These simple huts are scattered across the wilderness, available for anyone to use.
I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be quite nice to have a night in a hut rather than another night under canvas. I was looking down at the valley floor and really, not thinking too hard about where I was going.
But these mountains don't forgive the careless.
Found myself sliding down the hillside on my back, tried to dig my feet in, tried to dig my arms in, and think, yeah, we'll stop soon. Realisation dawns that I'm not slowing down, but I'm actually picking up speed. And then I realised that there's a cliff coming up. I'm not going to stop before I go over that.
With nothing to grab onto and no one to help him, Matt's momentum is about to plunge him into the void.
I did not expect to be alive when I hit the bottom.
As Matt plummets through the air, he's certain his life is over.
It felt like a very long time in the air between the top of that cliff and the bottom. In that time, an amazing amount of thoughts go through your head. It felt like an eternity. I don't remember the sensation of the impact. What I do remember most clearly is the thought, I'm still alive. It really was absolute surprise. Nothing felt too bad.
Matt experiences a wave of relief. It seems he's had a miraculous escape. But his adrenaline-soaked body is deceiving him. His wrist is smashed.
Where there used to be a straight wrist, there's now an inch dog's leg, and it doesn't look good at all.
And Matt's moment of horror doesn't end there. His ankle joint is pulverized. His tibia appears to be disconnected from his foot.
I'll do.
You can see the main bone from my leg trying to come out through the skin on the side of my ankle. It is pretty excruciating pain, the sort that gets into your gut and you actually feel physically sick.
But Matt's broken bones are suddenly the least of his worries. He realizes that he's lying in a fast-growing pool of blood.
There was obviously another serious injury somewhere, and I'm losing a lot of blood. I might not have very long left here.
Matt needs to find out where all the blood is coming from before he loses consciousness.
I start looking around. I find a gash across the back of my thigh. My finger's going up to the knuckle. It's that deep. It's gone straight through the muscle, and it looks like a piece of butchered meat.
Matt has no medical kit capable of sealing a massive wound like this, and has to improvise, using a thermal t-shirt.
Grabbed a thermal and jammed it into this hole I'd found in the back of my leg. Took about 10 minutes to stop the bleeding, and it was a terrifying 10 minutes.
Matt has just averted almost certain death, but he has a smashed wrist and ankle, and is in excruciating pain. He knows he needs medical help, and fast. Then he suddenly remembers. He has a distress beacon. When activated, it uses satellites to alert rescue services and pinpoint his location.
I'm thinking, well, all I've got to do here is get that beacon activated, and there'll be people here within a couple of hours. The weather's clear, the choppers can fly, so I'm going to get out of here.
But Matt's search through his rucksack yields nothing. And he can't see the beacon anywhere around him.
And it slowly begins to dawn on me that this locator beacon isn't here. I haven't got it with me. I'm in big trouble.
He's left it on a shelf back at the shop. Matt's usually meticulous preparation has deserted him in his hour of need. Any hope of raising the alarm is now gone. And then an even more terrible thought hits him. No one back at his shop is due to raise the alarm for another week. He and little dog are on their own.
It's not going to be a case of an hour and a half. I'm actually going to have to keep myself alive for well over a week up on this exposed mountainside.
Matt's mountain experience tells him he has no chance without water and shelter. And he has neither.
I've got to get myself some shelter where I can get at water, where I can keep myself warm, where I can keep myself dry. We could have snow, we could have any sort of weather. I've got to start looking after myself.
But there's nothing in sight that could give him protection. His only option is to head downhill until he finds anywhere he can pitch his tent. As each tiny movement triggers daggers of pain, Matt faces up to the prospect of what lies ahead of him.
It's not a case of gritting your teeth and overcoming it. You know it's going to hurt, you know it's going to be hard.
As Matt begins to drag his open wound and smashed limbs across rock and dirt, he knows he's beginning a journey through hell. But even the slightest contact with his broken bones is agonizing.
It'd be nice to scramble on my hands and knees, but I can't even use my hands because my wrist is broken. If I kept the weight off the broken bits, I was fine, but as soon as I tried to put the weight on my wrist or on my ankle, I get a wave of pain going up through my whole body.
Nightfall is just hours away, and temperatures are already falling. Matt knows he must find shelter for him and little dog, but when he tries to press on, the pain overwhelms him.
Every time I try and put any weight on my left leg, I can see my calf bone trying to exit through the skin on the side of my ankle.
Matt's tibia is no longer supported by his ankle, so there's nothing to stop it pushing directly through his skin and out of his leg. Finally, after an agonizing crawl over razor-sharp rocks, Matt's shocked body has had enough. He knows he must try and pitch a tent as soon as he can, or risk freezing to death. He has no idea whether he can manage it. He just knows he has to try.
And just the basics like getting tent pegs in, or even getting the tent flattened out onto the ground into the right shape, I've just rendered 10, 20-fold more difficult when you've only got one hand to work with. I think the adrenaline does the hard work for you. It keeps you going, it doesn't let you stop.
Matt knows if he doesn't build a tent, there's no way he'll cope with the night's freezing temperatures.
Generally holding tent pegs with that broken right hand and then bashing them in with whatever rocks I could find using my left hand. I almost want to vomit from the force of that pain.
Matt's desperate and gritty determination finally results in a below as Matt's only chance of rescue. But to get there, he knows he cannot crawl. He must try and walk. But with a smashed wrist, deeply cut leg, and worst of all, a fractured tibia, just standing up will push him to the limits of his endurance.
So I stood there for about 10 seconds. Sort of started to come over a bit dizzy. I sort of collapsed into a heap on the floor. It's like, well, now or never.
But Matt refuses to give up. Somehow he must dig deep.
The dog throughout all this was running ahead and loving it. She was so keen to get out there, probably as keen as I was.
Matt knows his terrible wounds will fight him all the way. The only help he's going to get is from the walking stick he's made from tent poles.
And I was counting paces. I was saying every number I count is one less pace I've got to take.
Another 10. Another 10.
It took a lot to keep going. It really did. Each time I put the weight on the ankle, you'd feel that bone trying to come out through the skin, and it was just a shot of pain right through my body.
Every step is blinding agony, while the morning's heat saps his strength further. His only plan is to stay close to water and keep moving down.
I was very cautious to stay right next to this creek. That was my lifeline.
Matt knows he's heading in the right direction for the hut, but by deciding to follow the creek, he soon hits a problem. He's faced with a choice between two possible routes. LD seems to be immediately keen on going right, but that path is steep and challenging. Matt decides to follow the much gentler downward slope.
Little dog. Oh, come on. Get in here. Trying to get me killed? Come on. Get out of it. Yeah. Howdy. Out of it.
Somehow, Matt keeps his body going, dragging his smashed ankle over uneven terrain for 2 hours. But just as he starts thinking he might get out, the mountain springs another surprise.
The mountainside got steeper and steeper until I found myself standing at the top of cliffs dropping off into nothing several hundred meters below. There was no way sideways, there was no way down. The only choice was back the way I'd come. And all the effort I'd put in to get down to where I was, it was going to be spent tenfold getting back up.
By ignoring Little Dog's choice of route, Matt has wasted hours, exacted a terrible toll on his body, and seriously depleted his energy supplies.
I physically could not walk with the injuries I had, so it was back onto elbows and knees. It was probably one of the lowest points. Just the frustration.
Get him back!
Matt realizes he's past the point of no return, but his route is perilous. The deep infected gash in his leg has taken another brutal hit. If the bleeding starts again, he may not be able to stop it. Matt pushes himself to breaking point, but he knows he must keep going at all costs. Knowing it will take all his energy just to pitch his tent again, Matt decides to rest up for the night and regain his strength. For a 9th night, temperatures plunge below freezing. Little Dog's food ran out 2 days ago, and she's finding it harder to fight off the cold, yet she stays with her master.
We spent the night curled up, both of us, at the bottom of the tent. Just knowing that there's this animal there, with you, sticking with me, is a reassuring thing. Kept me going emotionally, just the company of that dog there with me. The worst thing about waking up was those few moments of feeling that actually nothing was wrong. You wake up and your body feels normal. And then finding out that it's as bad as you remember it.
As another day dawns, Matt knows that he must reach the hunter's hut today. With hardly any food left, and his body close to collapse, he could die on the mountain. But to reach the hut, he'll have to get through the worst terrain he could imagine. Thick, mountainous scrub.
It looked like it was going to be very, very hard going. It was just a continuous process of forcing your way, almost swimming over the top of this vegetation. I was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
After 3 tortuous hours of struggle, Matt's dreadful injuries are taking their toll, and he's made hardly any progress.
Come on, you mad bum.
Seeing Little Dog negotiate the thick scrub so easily gives Matt an idea.
it got to the stage where there was no way of crawling over the top anymore. I was forced to squirm my way underneath.
After hours of gruesome effort and delirious with pain, Matt's made it through the worst of the brutal scrub.
And that was such a relief just to get out of that stuff and into this good going. I mean, I could stand up again and actually walk.
The hut can't be too far ahead now. But to reach it, Matt will have to force his broken limbs down a near vertical slope.
I was determined to reach the bottom of this slope.
Matt knows he's not going to be able to control his descent. Worse, the rocks and branches are going to punch and gouge his terrible wounds. It's a bloody gamble that could cripple him or kill him.
It was getting steeper, and so I was using whatever means I could.
Pushing his body to the extreme has paid off. Matt is now less than 2 kilometers from the hut. But getting to the valley floor has not come without tremendous cost.
I've done myself a lot of damage coming down this hill. My limbs are useless.
Matt can only hope the worst is behind him. The hut, and possible salvation, is tantalizingly close. But just as Matt finally allows himself to believe that he's made it, his dreams are brutally shattered. A fast, freezing river stands between him and the end of a nightmare.
That was so disheartening. It was so close. But unreachable, just out of reach.
Matt's body has already had to endure more than it can stand. And now, if he wants to live, he'll have to take his shattered bones and horrific wounds into the icy water.
Whether I could swim, whether I could propel myself was my real fear.
Matt makes his decision. He either dies on this bank or gambles his life in one last shot at surviving.
The water was absolutely freezing. All my muscles started to seize up.
Matt is quickly struggling. His weak, damaged body is no match for the fierce, freezing current. He has to fight the current or drown.
It wasn't what I needed. I was trying to swim a river with broken bones.
Matt knows that whether he lives or dies now depends entirely on the river, not on anything he can do.
I felt the main current begin to pull me, and it was dragging me over towards the far bank of the river.
Frozen and horribly maimed, Matt's washed up on shore barely alive. He's had a miraculous escape.
Every muscle in my body had seized. Everything had just stopped working. Very, very, very hard going, just even to move up the riverbank and away from the river. Very hard.
9 days after he was injured, Matt can see the hut. But he finally has to accept that he's probably going to die before he reaches it.
Cheers, LD.
I remember just thinking I might not have very long left here.
It's you and me, boy.
I could not have seen a more beautiful sight than that hunter walking out of that hut.
I got you, mate. I got you. Oh, lie down, eh?
And that's the moment I know I'm getting out of here. And I can't describe as good a moment as that. I was safe. It was relief. It was joy.
After patching him up as best they can, Matt's rescuers head off on a 13-hour trek to raise the alarm. 12 days after he started his journey, Matt is airlifted to the hospital, where doctors save his leg and rebuild his shattered ankle and wrist with metal pins. 6 months after his horrific experience, Matt is back in the mountains with little dog.
The experience has made me realise what I value in life and what I don't. Having got out, you appreciate those companions that you had through life so much more.
Here you go, sons.
It's 4 days before Christmas,
Cheers, mate.
and postgraduate physics students Sonia Rendell and Marnie Shepherd have left their books behind for a 3-day hike in the Southern Alps of New Zealand.
They look so cute. They don't look real. They're gonna feel pretty real once we're up there.
25-year-old city girl Sonia has just split with her boyfriend and is taking time out to clear her head.
I was heartbroken, so it was a good opportunity just to get away and start thinking about where my life was going.
Sonia had a bit of a split up just beforehand, so this hike was something I hoped that Sonia would enjoy.
At 36, Marnie's already a veteran mountaineer. This trip was her idea.
I've always loved the mountains. It brings a lot of happiness for me anyway to feel like I'm part of nature.
The women have rarely hung out socially, until now.
Sonia and I are very different in some ways. Sonia's a lot more sociable person. She's also a bit more of a glamour person.
How are your new boots?
Oh, they're good. I really like the colours. What do you think?
I'd never hiked with Marnie before.
I don't care what they look like. Are they comfortable?
She's a very experienced climber, and I knew that I was going to be in completely safe hands.
It's going to be a challenging hike. They face 3 long days of walking and rock scrambling. They'll overnight in hiking shelters along the way. Marnie's come up with a 60-kilometre route that will take them through mountain passes, right across the Southern Alps to the west coast. Beautiful and remote, this wilderness can also be lethal. Even in the New Zealand summer, the weather can change without warning. And Marnie has heard that a storm system is heading their way.
Even though the forecast was bad, it was still supposed to be a day or so away. We were hoping to complete the trip before the weather turned bad.
Sonia's on a steep learning curve. This is her toughest hike yet, so she'll be looking to Marnie to take the lead.
What if I slip? Don't slip.
Marnie is a very tough lady, incredibly headstrong, but I really like that in her. I'd never hiked with Marnie before. I was very well aware that she's a very experienced climber.
There are some tricky bits, but I think it's a really great trip to take someone who wants to see the real mountains. Sonia and I both thought, well, yeah, we'll give it a go. The idea being that, you know, in principle, we could always turn around and come back again.
The hike starts out well, and the weather is holding. But around the next bend, a shock awaits the two friends.
I wasn't expecting that.
Deep in the shadow of the canyon pass, a gigantic wall of winter snow has survived right into the height of summer.
It was quite beautiful. It was just this massive, smooth stretch of ice that covered the base of the mountain.
But alpine expert Marnie instantly recognizes the ice is a big problem.
We're talking 4 or 5 stories high, not something you can just throw yourself up and hope to get over. It was firm snow, very steep, you would need crampons.
We won't even get 6 feet up there.
Neither of the women wants to turn back, but the only alternative is to climb around the wall of ice blocking their path.
But there's a bit of a path up there.
It looked like there was a way of climbing up over the bluffs by the snow and hopefully sidle around the ice. It was still very steep and definitely a climbing route, but I do have a lot of experience on this kind of terrain, and I knew Sonia was, you know, natural in the mountains. You know, she hadn't done climbing, you know, serious mountaineering, but I wasn't thinking it would be like that.
I reckon we can do it.
We were very excited, and I guess the adrenaline is going as well. There was no doubt in our minds that we could do the climb.
The women reach a ridge that should take them around the ice. But the plan falls apart. The terrain is impassable without ropes.
Between us and the pass that we were trying to sidle around to, there was a very steep, uncrossable avalanche gully, completely uncrossable.
Unwilling to abandon the trip, Marnie decides that they can climb up to another ridge.
I was hoping if we climbed a little higher, we could get through.
We can't get across here, but if we nip up there, I reckon we can make it.
I was a little bit surprised. It looked like it would just be a long, long climb.
What, that ridge way up there?
But I completely trusted Marnie's judgment.
Okay. Okay.
She basically just said, you know, follow my route, so it was always her that went first.
Now you just want to watch out for the loose screed. You don't want to scuff your new boots.
What starts as a scramble quickly turns into a serious climb. And as they get higher, novice climber Sonia starts getting nervous.
There were points where you didn't have proper handholds. It was quite a surreal experience because it was a mix between adrenaline and being scared and adrenaline and being scared again.
Kick away the loose stuff and jam your toe into that bit.
To find a way around the ice, the women have to climb higher and higher. Marnie has underestimated the severity of the ascent and overestimated her friend's climbing ability.
Marnie, this is just crazy.
Sonia was beginning to get scared of the train, and with very good reason.
When I looked down, it was an incredibly long fall. It was just pure sharp rock. So if you did slip, then you were going to break some bones. That did set in panic for me. I froze on the side of the mountain.
It was a very big mistake on my part taking Sonia into that terrain. Your survival depends on you being careful about what you're doing, and if you panic, you're not being careful.
Marnie needs to calm Sonia down, fast.
Just relax and take some breaths, okay?
It was terrifying. If you fell, you would fall down hundreds of feet and die. You couldn't afford to fall.
Marnie, I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm gonna go back down. Sonia? Sonia, you can't go back down. It's too dangerous.
I was quite certain then it was better for us to keep carrying on going uphill, because climbing up is a lot easier than going down. It's a lot safer.
We've got to keep going up, okay? Don't look down. Keep calm. Try and find a foothold.
Against her every instinct, Sonia presses on. After 4 hours of climbing, they're nearly 200 meters up a near vertical cliff face. At last, the summit is within reach. But now, they hit another problem. The rock above them is dangerously unstable.
It's a case of what looks like solid rock falling apart. And if you're relying on that to hold some of your weight, well, that's a disaster.
I put my foot on the rock and it fell from underneath my foot.
Marnie, it's just crumbling.
I couldn't hold on to the rock much longer. It was very scary.
What do I do?
Shift your weight!
I was clinging on, trying to scramble my other foot or wedge it into the rock just to get one solid foothold. I knew if I were to fall further, it would be disastrous.
Help me! Sonia, look at me. I want you to
Experienced climber Marnie has managed to scramble down.
Okay.
Now she has to calm Sonia and guide her back to safety.
Now get that leg and swing it round. I've got you, Sonia. I've got you.
Ready?
Yep.
Go. Ah, the wall.
Yes.
I can't do this anymore. I can't go on any further.
Sonia's safe, but the shock of the fall has drained her strength and her confidence.
We've got to keep moving.
I really needed to stop because mentally and physically I couldn't last much longer.
Come around and up. Put your hands where I put mine.
Pushing on, the women face a dilemma. The terrain above is even steeper, yet going back down is out of the question.
The rock quality was really poor. The rock you're standing on and the rock you're holding, all of it could just crumble.
Marnie realizes she can't push Sonia any further.
I want to stop. I can't go on.
She needs to find a spot where they can take a break.
I think I see something.
There was a very small, flat patch, and it was the only safe place on that entire, cliff section.
It was an absolute relief. I could just sit down and take a deep breath and get my composure.
Marnie's decision to climb the rock face almost ended in tragedy. Now Sonia is regretting putting her life in her new friend's hands.
What were you thinking, Marnie?
I knew that I had climbed parts of that mountain, which was just mad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault.
I was feeling bad that I'd got Sonia into this position, but also totally focused on getting out of it.
We wait 5 minutes and then we push up to the top.
Marnie knows that the top of the ridge isn't far above them. But Sonia just can't face another grueling climb.
The fact that a whole day had passed and we hadn't been rescued was just heartbreaking. If there was an air search and rescue, we would have been rescued by now. The reality dawned that we were going to be stuck for some time.
16 kilometers away down in the valley, park rangers scramble rescue helicopters and foot patrols to hunt for the women. But with a search area spanning hundreds of kilometers, the chances are 1 in a million. Back on the ledge, the women are regretting the bottle of wine. The alcohol has dehydrated them further, worsening their raging thirst. But violent winds make collecting rainwater impossible.
Even though there was torrential rain, we couldn't collect any of that water. It was always at an angle that you just couldn't get to it. The only way we could get water was actually off or sucking out of the sleeping bags.
The same sleeping bags that have been soaking up their urine.
I thought, well, this is nasty, tasted gross. That last of our worries was getting, some germs from the water in the sleeping bag. So all we had to do was grab a little bit next to us and suck on it.
On the ledge, the women remain prisoners for a 7th day. The wet rocks are as slippery as ice, making climbing impossible.
It really didn't stop raining at all. We were incredibly unlucky.
I was depressed. The weather was still incredibly bad. It was getting colder and colder.
Then, just as they're starting to give up hope, the sound they've been longing for.
Hey! Hey!
We were absolutely over the moon. We just knew that we were going to be rescued.
We're here! Sonia! Son! Son! We're here! Sonia! Hello! We're here!
When the helicopters didn't spot us, I was incredibly disappointed.
1,200 meters up in the mountains, the bad weather makes them invisible to the search choppers.
The helicopters had no chance of finding us in the bad weather.
Their dreams of rescue are shattered. After more than a week on the rain-lashed ledge, the women's feet are becoming seriously infected.
Keep it moving. Get some blood into it.
We both had trench foot, which had killed off the nerves in the feet. Our feet were totally numb.
Even if the weather clears, Climbing on their numb and damaged feet would be next to impossible.
It was very scary. I actually started to think that we could die there.
Best known route was driving to the head of the valley up to here and then making their way across.
Since Sonia's sister Nikki raised the alarm, rangers have spent 4 days scouring the search area, both on foot and from the air. But there's no sign of the women.
We could be looking for bodies.
The search turned into a body hunt.
That's when fear kicks in. How do you live a normal life when your sister is nowhere?
After 8 days of solid rain,
Do you hear that? What? The rain. Don't hear the rain.
the downpour finally stops. It's the answer to their prayers.
Thank God. Hang on. No, this is no good.
The rain gives way to snow, and their nightmare deepens.
It was feeling like you were sitting in a bathtub of ice cubes.
Oh, it's so cold.
The sub-zero chill brings the threat of hypothermia even closer. And by dawn, the freezing temperatures have attacked Sonia's exposed and swollen feet.
Now, Sonia had frostbite on her feet. She was very distressed. But there was really nothing I could do about it.
It was very scary. It was really your body starting to shut down.
That's when I knew that, you know, even one more day or 2 more days, it could be it.
Parched with thirst, Sonia can't resist eating the snow, even though she knows it could catastrophically lower her core body temperature.
I knew I shouldn't be eating snow, but I thought, what the hell, I'm going to do it anyway. I was desperate and I needed to have it.
It's only going to make it colder.
We were beyond desperate at that stage.
As Sonia and Marnie endure their 9th day without sleep, the weather veers between snow and freezing rain, and they can no longer fight the urge to shut their eyes.
I knew that falling asleep meant dying. I just really needed to let go.
It was very, very heartbreaking. You start to lose your resolve. You start thinking like, oh, maybe I could have a little bit of a nap. It's a sign that you're probably about to die yourself.
It was a shock. We could actually see some blue sky. It was the best thing that we'd ever seen.
Realizing that no rescuers are coming, Marnie and Sonia decide to take their fate into their own hands.
I don't want to wait to get caught here in another storm.
I was so incredibly weak and so incredibly tired, but we were determined that we would definitely climb out no matter what.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
If we died trying to climb out, that was better than dying in that crack.
When the rock dries, they'll climb. Trying to climb on their damaged feet is near suicidal. But if they stay put, they're convinced they'll die. Back at the ranger station, the authorities call off the search for the women's bodies. But Sonia's sister Nikki can't bring herself to leave.
Your heart aches, it breaks that your younger sister, your little sister, has gone out and isn't going to return.
One of the helicopter pilots takes pity on Nikki. He offers to give her a ride over the wilderness that claimed Sonia, to say goodbye to her sister. The women prepare to climb. They haven't slept in 10 days, and they can barely feel their infected, frost-bitten feet.
My feet were swollen to the point where your skin was going to crack. But the only thing that we were thinking about was how we were going to climb out.
They're determined to escape their prison, or die in the attempt. Nikki's been told that Sonia must be dead, but she can't stop herself scanning the terrain for any sign of her sister.
You put your hand where I put mine. I'll follow you. You ready? Don't look down.
By some miracle, Nikki has stumbled across Sonia and Marnie amid hundreds of square kilometers of wilderness.
It's my sister!
It was just absolutely euphoric. We were over the moon. I think we looked at each other and we hugged each other and we thought, thank God.
They were laughing and happy and crying, and it was amazing.
We made it, Marnie. We made it.
The word relief is an understatement.
The helicopter rushes Sonia and Marnie to safety. The wrecked nerves in the women's feet take 3 painful weeks to grow back. Sonia never went climbing again. But Marnie would return to the mountains 10 months later.
I'm pretty sure I promised Sonia I wouldn't do that to anyone again. But I still love the mountains. I still love tramping. And I'm definitely more careful now about what I do with people.
The two women remain friends.
I think I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Marnie. It was definitely her strength that got both of us through it.